Hi guys, and today's movie that you don't hate. So, this week's movie that you don't hate is a winner here. It's definitely a winner. It's X-Men: The Last Stand. And this is...
This is going to be really tough. This is going to be really tough. Now, we say that pretty much on all of them, but this one's got a lot of hate. Now, you're going to see X-Men make their return to the big screen with Apocalypse, and Bryan Singer has gone back to back right now in this trilogy with Days of Future Past and now Apocalypse. But before all that, he took a little bit of a break from the X-Men universe, I guess, before Future Past.
Yeah, and this is the Tokyo Drift of the X-Men franchise. That's exactly what this is.
That's a good one.
This is the one that we acknowledge is part of the series and is part of the lore and history, but it's the one everybody likes to forget actually happened.
So this one was...
this is where Vin Diesel pops up at the end as a cameo.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, so this is like I said, this is going to be a really tough one to do. But if you guys have never seen this show, You Don't Hate This Movie is divided into several categories. Okay, right. This particular show we're going to divide it into categories of plot, acting, directing, special effects, action sequences, and characters.
Okay.
So the goal of it is to try to outweigh the bad with the good, and show everybody that you really don't hate this movie.
No, it's got flaws. We all recognize that this film has flaws.
It's amazing.
But it doesn't have enough flaws to where you can't say that there's not redeemable factors to it. There's not things in here that you like to keep you from saying that you just absolutely... If you say you hated it, then there was nothing redeemable about this movie. And we're going to definitely prove to you that there's a lot of things in this movie that you did like.
So you got... we're going to have two categories. We're going to have the like, and we're going to have the hate. Mm-hmm. So after we go through all the categories, we'll give a point to each one. At the end of the day, we'll tally up the scores and see who wins.
All right.
Like or hate. Ready, Terrence?
Ready.
Scoreboard starts now.
Here ends the streak.
So Bryan Singer started this whole X-Men universe actually with the first X-Men back in 2000, and I believe he did the X2 also, and then like you said, he took a break from this one, and Brett Ratner actually took this.
He did the Superman that we defended last time.
Yeah, he sure did. Bryan Singer dropped X3 to go do Superman Returns, and he took freaking Cyclops with him.
Well, he sure did. he was Lois Lane's boyfriend.
Exactly.
I forgot about that.
So, not only did he get owned, taking care of a kid that wasn't his,
Aww.
he also dies in this movie.
Well, let's get on to the first one.
So the first one will be the plot.
The plot. Okay, so the plot of this film was that there is now a cure for mutantism-ish thing. So now because in the first movie we got introduced to what the mutants were and who they were and who they are. The next movie we got introduced on how the world viewed them.
Right.
And in this film it's like, okay, now we can try to get rid of the whole mutant gene. And with that being out there, we got Magneto coming up saying that, I want to be a mutant, and I have all the people that want to still be mutants and have that power, so we're going to rise up and prevent this cure from actually getting out. So, in X-Men lore, and that's a definite X-Men plot. It's something that, because there's been times where, people have been trying to get rid of mutants, so, definitely felt the plot. Now...
Well, he creates this brotherhood,
brotherhood of
even though there are some, you got the brotherhood that actually is going by what Magneto's saying, and then that's what they feel. Mm-hmm. But people from Xavier School is actually feeling that way too, and that's like Storm. Storm's feeling like, hey, I don't want to, I don't need to be. Why are you going to cure us?
They went to school for this. They went to school to learn how to use their powers, so that way they can actually integrate back into society and stuff.
Where would that leave the Xavier School?
What's wrong with the plot of that film? And it's like, that's, like I said, it's definitely something that you would definitely read in an X-Men comic book, and based on the world that they established, mean, it followed suit. It was like introduction, how the world views them. Okay, now the world wants to be rid and see if we can get everybody, because even in their whole universe, they had people that didn't want to be mutants anymore.
Like Rogue.
Yeah. So,
Rogue wanted to touch Iceman in places that were not appropriate.
if only she knew what they were going to do to Iceman in the comic books.
You know, she was one of the ones that actually wanted it. And then I believe she did get cured in this movie, didn't she?
So.
Yeah. So the plot was... the thing that I had a problem with the plot was that it went with... the Dark Phoenix, Phoenix part of it, and I think that's the part that kind of took away from the Cure.
Because the Dark Phoenix saga is such a big thing,
right?
Especially for X-Men and Jean Grey as a character, it's a big thing, and to kind of mesh it in with that, people quite didn't really like that, especially big comic book fans. It was like it should have been its own thing. It basically kind of Spider-Man 3 did, or BVS'd it, and
BS'd it.
They BS'd it, but it didn't take away from the fact that it was the overall theme of the film. Now, can you say that by downplaying the Phoenix Saga as just kind of a side story,
a subplot?
Yeah, as a subplot was a bad thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna back off on that one. That was a major thing, a major error for the film to do. But the overall plot was still something that was it was easy to follow. It was something that made sense. I mean, you didn't get lost in it. It's just people were a little down on the fact that the Phoenix Saga was so underplayed.
And that's where movies like Civil War, because you talk about Civil War as far as them sticking to the whole purpose of the plot throughout the movie. This particular movie had that subplot that a lot of people, like Terrence said, just did not agree with being part of this. If it was X-Men,
and then they did.
If it was titled X-Men Dark Phoenix, then that would have been awesome.
Or if they had done this and then did an X-Men 4, which probably would have worked out better if they'd have just done this film and then did an X-Men 4 as the Dark Phoenix Saga. The Dark Phoenix Saga, that would have worked out better as well. It should have been 2 movies. It shouldn't have been 1, and it kind of got crammed into 1. But I don't think that takes away from what the plot was, and it's still for what it did cover Dark Phoenix, not as well as it needed to, but it still did cover it. And I don't know how well you could really cover something that took place in multiple issues in the comic book within 2 hours anyway.
But the initial plot, as far as the Cure, I'm gonna have to give it a what? What are we giving it?
I don't have a problem with the plot. I'm okay with the plot. I do feel the fans with the fact that they crammed that in there. I can't say that I dislike that in BVS and then say I liked it here. So I have to say hate because they crammed that in there. I understand.
And for the first time in You Don't Hate History, we have a tie on this one.
No,
I don't feel that.
Okay, so we'll call it a draw.
I don't feel that it's that big of a deal because the initial plot of it is the Cure. Magneto's purpose is to fight against that, and I think that that outweighs the Dark Phoenix Saga. Even though she plays a part in it, but she almost turns into a freaking henchman in a little bit of in a way.
Exactly. So, because it's
push.
It's going to be a push. It's going to be a push.
For the first time, we have a freaking wow.
No, we had one on another one.
Well, you know what?
We did.
There are 3 members of the Goods. So, Aspen,
from the back,
would you say a like or hate on the plot?
I liked it.
Oh, like gets it, tiebreaker. Ding, 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 ding. Like gets it 1-0.
Put your comments below.
Okay, so the number 2 category is the acting/directing. Now, I said before, Bryan Singer walked away from this one so he can go and do Superman Returns. Better choice. So
hey, I like Superman.
I know we did. I'm kidding, but you had a lot of different ideas that Ratner was trying to do. Now, Brett Ratner is famous for doing the Rush Hour movies, and get him toe dipped in that Marvel pool there, and he did what he could, in my opinion. As far as the acting is concerned, I thought that.
I mean, we had the same returning characters, and
they did good.
Ian McKellen came back. Patrick Stewart came back. They've been doing great jobs in the first 2.
Oh my goodness! Jean Grey, Famke. I really dug Famke Janssen in this movie, to be honest with you.
We had basically all the. I mean, this time we also got I'm gonna say Frasier.
Yeah, we got Kelsey Grammer. We got Frasier playing Beast.
Yeah, so I think they did great jobs with the casting. I think everybody did a great acting job, and then the people, they had smaller mutants in here, especially with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They had such small parts that, I mean, their acting roles, like the guy who played Juggernaut, which was Vinnie Jones. I mean, some people could say that he didn't do a great job, but I mean, it was a minor character, and so you can't basically acting on minor characters and what they did. The bulk of the story was through the X-Men and Magneto as a character and Patrick Stewart as the leader of the X-Men. That's where the bulk of the acting came from. So the acting was great.
Yeah, I think the acting was pretty good too, especially for Hugh Jackman towards the end.
Don't forget Hugh Jackman's in this film.
Yeah, because, you know, his the way he felt that emotion of having to kill Jean Grey. I mean, that was really tough, and you can really see the pain and the conflict, the inner conflict towards the end of the movie. Spoiler, sorry. So
if you haven't seen it and you're watching,
I haven't seen it, but you know, I think that part, you know, kind of as far as his performance as Wolverine, I thought it was pretty good. It was similar to how he felt with the Origins when he lost the love interest. So I thought for the most part the acting was pretty decent. The directing
in every X-Men movie.
The directing, yeah, he's mad at come on, kill my brother. Sorry. So the directing also, I mean, like I said, he did what he could. I think that had he been given a little bit of a better script, I think maybe Ratner could have pulled it off, because I mean, he is a talented guy, and he's put out some good stuff. So.
So what did you find flaws in his direction in the movie?
I thought that, you know, the subplot part, I think that played a part in it.
As a director,
I thought.
Or did he had you felt like he had problems with managing both storylines?
Right, exactly, and not really understanding what Famke Janssen's character was, or what she plays in the comics. How powerful she is, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. There's just some certain things I just think that if he had a little bit more of an idea of what the characters, and I think he was directing a movie, not an X-Men movie. Does that make sense?
No.
Does that make sense?
But still, I think he did a capable job. Yeah. You know, like I said, I already told you my not liking the whole subplot, but I think he did a capable job. I think the other actors on screen did a great job as far as, you know, voicing and becoming their characters, as well as we knew them going into this film. So I think that was a great job. I mean, the only person that I was really because we're talking about, we're going to get to characters later. I won't even mention that because we'll get to characters later.
Okay, so who gets a point?
We get a like on this one.
We get a like. That's 2-0. Wow, 2-0. I really thought that it would be in the... Well,
because the first one should.
The first one actually has an asterisk in it, but it's all right. All right, so the second one is special effects.
Okay, special effects.
When you
what year was this movie?
Oh my God, 2006.
Okay, so we're looking at 2006 special effects.
Maybe 2000.
Early 2000 special effects. All right, we got to give them some leeway on special effects, but for the X-Men films, they've never had a problem with special effects. I've never felt like, that looks kind of cheap.
This is the first time that we actually get to see special effects used in anti-aging with the
when they made him young.
And the way that looked was pretty freaking good. I mean, I think it's a little bit better than Michael Douglas's in Ant-Man.
Nobody ever complained about that. Nobody ever complained about them being de-aged or the Benjamin Button. Yeah. Nobody ever complained about that. So there was no problem with the CGI at that time. Now, if you look at the CGI, you're like, it kind of looks kind of creepy, but at the time, it was good CGI. Like I said, my only problem was maybe the Vinnie Jones Juggernaut, his muscle suit.
Yeah, that was kind of a little cheesy there, and you know, but he had some funny lines actually. He was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
We'll talk about that in characters. But the as far as the makeup and the CGI with the anti-aging, the whole end sequence with Wolverine, her tearing Wolverine up, but he's healing while it's like back and forth. I thought that whole sequence at the end was amazing as far as special effects.
You know, we got to see new mutant powers and stuff.
You got
Pyro, and What are the mutants that were
And
on there?
Beast's makeup too.
Beast
that was
and
pretty
we
good.
all and oh my God, Beast's makeup was great. I mean, Kelsey
absolutely.
Grammer was a perfect Beast.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he could pull off the action part of it, which we'll get into.
Yeah,
that
no,
next,
you
but-
knew he could be smart and intelligent.
Right.
You know, so the whole flipping and hanging off ceilings and stuff like that. That was amazing.
Now that's special effects. Right?
That's special effects right there.
So who gets the point?
I give like on this one.
Like!
How are
Special
we,
effects.
How are we on 3-0 on
It's
this
a
movie?
3-0. Wow, I can't believe
Is this the
this.
same movie that we watched?
Action sequences.
Okay.
This movie's got some pretty good action sequences, and it actually starts out really good in the training part of the X-Men, where they're fighting the Sentinels and all this other stuff.
Oh, and they do the fastball move
yeah,
with.
so it's actually pretty freaking cool on that with the Colossus and.
I hate Colossus.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like what he does with Wolverine when he throws them or whatever he does.
Well, but I guess if we wanted to talk effects, that was another minor thing that I had is like the way they make, and it's not that his effect looked bad. I just don't like the way they designed his Colossus.
Are you comparing him to Deadpool? Is that what it is?
Well, no, because Deadpool gave us the Colossus we should have had. But but like you said, the action sequences that we finally got to see them fight Sentinels, more or less, kind of in the distance. But we also got to see the Danger Room more often, like because they told us that it was a danger room, but we didn't really get to see them training in the danger room. And not only did we get to see them training, but it was against the Sentinel, and we got to see something from the comic book. It was called the fastball. And if you're an X-Men comic book junkie like I am, the fastball is when Colossus actually, the way they do it in a comic book, because Wolverine's supposed to be a midget, he's like, he picks him up with one hand and he throws him, and that's basically what they did with having him pick him up and throw him like that, and he basically just goes at you with his claws. So that was an awesome scene to see that go the way they did it, especially having to do a large robot and do the danger room, and they still pulled it off as a believable way too. Other action scenes was like the
forest.
Oh, the forest scene, the bridge scene towards
Bridge
the
scene,
end.
and that can go with special effects also, because that looked amazing.
Yeah.
But the forest scene and the bridge scene, those two really stick out as some hardcore.
Yeah.
Good action sequence.
Right.
Awesome, especially the bridge.
All right.
Who gets the point?
I like the action scenes in this film. I like the action scenes in this film. If we're gonna go to like, what are we 4-0?
Oh, I can't believe it. This is
we can't lose this.
we should have. Okay, so boom, point, like.
All right. So this is where it all unfolds.
This is where it actually goes to hate, because it's time for the characters. Now, we had some returning characters from the first two X-Men movies, and then we had some pretty important characters that died, like James Marsden, because he had to rush and go.
That was the weakest thing they ever did.
Well, yeah, but he had to rush to go do Superman. So.
That was the weakest thing they ever did in this film, was kill Cyclops, the leader of the X-Men, and make him a punk when they did it. And yes, okay, we've known that he's been upset, with Jean dying in the comic books and stuff like that, but come on, he's always been the leader
Well,
of the
he
X-Men.
says, we don't all heal as fast as you do, Wolverine, especially Superman, because I got.
They made him a punk, and then they killed him.
I got to go to Metropolis.
And then, as a matter of fact, there was somebody even came out and said that, is he technically dead? Because they never ever showed his body.
Well, no, because of Future Past changed all that.
Yeah,
anyway, so
I mean,
it's
but no,
different.
but like even in that timeline,
No, I
he
don't
even
know.
really died because they never showed his body.
So you got some of those, and then you have new characters like Juggernaut.
I didn't like Vinnie Jones.
I thought Vinnie
as
Jones.
he was funny.
He was funny.
Don't you know I am the Juggernaut, bitch?
But he wasn't the Juggernaut.
He was not the Juggernaut, and from what I understand, he's Xavier's
his half brother.
his stepbrother.
Yeah, or I'm sorry, not half brother. His stepbrother.
Yeah, and they don't even talk about that at all.
No, it's just the same way with Nightcrawler and Mystique. That's her son.
And then you want to talk about new characters? How about absence of characters? Nightcrawler was freaking amazing. Alan Cumming
because he didn't want to do the film
he didn't
anymore.
want the makeup.
See,
Because of the
Jennifer
makeup.
Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence. All you got to do is bow out. Don't sleep. Walk through roles. You don't want to do it. You ain't got to do it.
Yeah, and I thought he was great. He really should have been next three. I thought he was amazing. So, we didn't have Nightcrawler in there. But like I said, you had characters like Juggernaut, and then you had the other mutants that formed the Brotherhood.
Mystique was there, and they did this whole thing with her character and curing her, which nobody really liked.
I didn't like that.
That was a little part where like
What is it,
I can
Woman
believe it.
Scorned, or
yeah, and then Magneto leaves her. Magneto would never do that. I mean, it's like he believes in mutants and is like above everything else. And it
But
was
she wasn't a mutant once she was cured.
and she had been with him that whole time, and it's like, why would he?
Like he's gonna forget her just like
yeah, exactly. So that was one thing we didn't like about his particular character.
Fassbender would have never done that.
Yeah, so I mean, just the way they did some of the characterizations, and then some of the smaller mutants that they tried to introduce into. They did with Kitty Pryde, they brought into it with Ellen Page.
Yeah.
I think she was underutilized in the film. They almost tried to do a rogue thing that they did in the first X-Men, bringing her in there, you're not knowing how to use your powers, just kind of, sitting back, watching things unfold, and like I said, so.
And the kid that has the curing thing.
I can't remember what the actual character was.
I don't know, but I just, yeah.
Oh, and then they did Angel, and they just pushed him to the side. He was just kind of like, oh, look, Angel's in this movie too.
That was cool at the beginning, though.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool in the beginning.
And it's like, Angel is a beloved X-Men character.
Yeah,
they kind of push him off to the side like that. It's like he wasn't even an X-Men. He was just a mutant with wings.
And you can see him, and you'll be able to see him in Apocalypse.
Yeah,
but for this particular movie, completely underused. A lot of the characters, in my opinion, were underused or just not used correctly.
Yeah.
So
I think he was just trying to just throw names in there to help to make fanboys happy. And it's like, oh, put this one in, and people know about this one, people know about this one, people know about this one, and then didn't do the characterizations correctly. So
characters get a complete hate. Sorry. So that is a 4-1.
It shouldn't have been a beatdown like that. It should have been 3-2, but I got overruled. Or maybe even 2-1.
We got 2-1. You got 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? The plot wasn't that bad for me. I mean, it wasn't that bad. No. I just thought, it outweighed.
Wait, that math doesn't make sense. 2-1?
Me and Aspen against you.
Oh, against that. Okay. I was doing math.
I told you go to school.
Gotta do something.
If you want to see a lot of these characters, go and see Apocalypse, because I hear it's really good. Hopefully they don't go the cram too many characters in there without any backstory, which is another one of the complaints about the characters aspect, is that they introduced a lot of these characters, but they had no real backstory, so it was kind of hard to really relate to any of them, to really sympathize with any of them. So
I think that seeing how Civil War did it, and all the Marvel movies, to be honest, back to all through the Avengers and any other ensemble films they did for Marvel, I think we now know how to do multiple characters in a film. So, and we've already watched 2 other X-Men films that had multiple characters in it, so I can see them doing this one okay.
I thought Singer did a great job with Days of Future Past. I mean, that was such a good movie. So,
but with that being said, go watch The Last Stand again. Give it another shot. I think that a lot of times with people with these particular films, some of the negative criticisms come out, and then people just kind of jump on the bandwagon instead of actually giving the movie a chance. As much as I joke about BVS, I actually don't hate BVS. I actually like BVS. I just don't think it was the greatest movie I wanted it to be. And the same thing with this particular film. I don't hate this film. It's just not. It wasn't what I wanted. After seeing 2 great X-Men films, it was just disappointing to see it not live up to that particular type of hype. It had a lot of great things going on, and we discussed. Obviously, we gave 4 points to the things that we did like about it, and only really could sit down and nitpick one particular aspect of the movie was on the plot, and I guess 2, 1.5, because I didn't get the point. But the characters was a major issue with it, as far as minor characters introducing new mutants into the film, and some of the things they did was some. But outside of that, the story was fine. The action was great. I mean, it's a big summer blockbuster movie. It's something that you expect to see. It is an entertaining film. Give it another shot. Go out and watch it.
And after all that being said, you really don't hate this.
Nah, you don't hate this movie.
So Terrence, take us home.
All right. So, because I got my water bottle and I felt like I did a lot of talking today, but make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, especially in this particular show and format. We definitely want to hear your comments on it, because I love to hear when people say, you know what, I was always one of the people that liked this film, and I always felt weird, not saying that I didn't hate, that I hated, that I didn't dislike it, or I don't know if you can say that, but I wasn't the ones that didn't hate it. So I want to hear that. We'll have
future installments.
We'll have a meeting about people who actually like Last Stand.
But my daughter barely saw it today. So
also, too, make sure you let us know about other films that you like that most people don't like, that we can try to defend on the show, because trust me, there's a lot of films that we don't follow the majority on, and we really do like it. And like I said, for films that people hate, you really don't.
And I laughed earlier because Batman vs Superman will be
eventually
on YouTube. Eventually, Batman,
when the wounds heal.
We're actually we want to wait until that rated R edition comes out.
Yeah, we may not have to do it after rated R edition comes out.
And then we'll go from there. But in the meantime, put your comments out there and let us know which ones you'd like to see next. For Aspen in the back, I'm Manny.
I'm Cyrus.
We'll see you next time.
Do it. Ole, do it.
Are you gonna do the X and I'll do the 3?
y'all
You
weren't
can.
men.
What?
Anyway, bye.
Oh, that was a joke. She took a shot at us. She took a shot at us, not calling us not men. Oh fuck, I forgot.
This is your show, you dork. All right, do it again, Aspen.
All right.
Oh my god. That was a good
No,
start.
go ahead. 3, 2, 1.
3.